Welcome, everybody. You've been working all day and now it's after work. I'm Joe. Welcome back. It's been like 2 weeks since I've done an episode of TOS, that one show after work, where I talk about anything nerdy related, mostly games and retro stuff. So you'll see a lot of that tonight, actually, and some trailers too on top of that. More horror games. It's October. Everybody's got a horror game that they're dropping a demo of. Steam Next Fest has been going on or has ended already. So I think like the trickle down of everything that's left over up until Halloween will probably come out throughout the rest of this week. So just bear with me. We'll have more variety of trailers coming up soon, okay? The holiday season is just around the corner. Mariah Carey's thawing out here, and we have some gifts to talk about over here. Oh, well, ads aren't playing, right? There we go. First up, we've got Bethesda had a little Fallout celebration, and with that, actually, well, Fallout Day, I should say. Actually, N7 Day is coming up around the corner too in like 2 weeks, right? Ooh, I hope I let me not get my hopes up. Never mind. You know what? That's on me for being excited about that. Never mind. I take that back. Anyway, Fallout Day happened, and we've got an announcement of Fallout 4 on the Nintendo Switch 2 having its own edition that's going to have mouse control support, which is actually pretty dope. But to rewind back, I sighed there only because I realized that this game came out 10 years ago, and that is when I started my YouTube channel. I don't think I have the full playthrough on my YouTube channel anymore, but damn, we're old out here, yo. That one, I think my back hurt. I think I hear my non-existent pension calling me right now. Anyway, but let's read over here. This comes by way of Games Radar. Bethesda's Fallout Day stream revealed a ton of new Fallout news, including a PS5 and Xbox Series X versions of Fallout 76 and Fallout 4 for Nintendo Switch 2. Fallout Day, as today, October 23rd, is the date in the Fallout universe where the Great War that destroyed the world took place. Not until 2077, though. Feel like at this rate we're kind of speeding up to that in the real world, right? And to celebrate this horrific world-changing event that birthed the nuclear wastelands, Bethesda hosted a stream to announce the new Fallout news. First off was Fallout 4 Anniversary Edition to celebrate the game's 10th anniversary this year. This edition of the game comes with all DLC and 150 bits of Creation Club content, including with creation seen in Starfield and Skyrim being introduced into the game too. Most importantly, it was confirmed that Fallout 4 Anniversary Edition will arrive on the Nintendo Switch 2 in 2026. Marking? I can totally read over here today, y'all. Marking the series' debut on Nintendo if you ignore Fallout Shelter and the Vault Boy Me costume in Smash Brothers. Yeah, we'll count this as the first. We will count this as the first for sure. Which is pretty dope that Nintendo Switch 2 is seeing some Fallout love. I hope that with this, we get some of the older Fallout games on top of that because correct me if I'm wrong, the first two are kind of like isometric RPGs that are like isometric like RTS type games, right? I think so. Maybe those and Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas. Dude, I loved New Vegas. I played it for the first time last year, and I was ecstatic out of my mind about that game by the time I was finished with it. I played Fallout 4. That was my first Fallout game. I would I don't want to set myself up for disappointment or excitement for that matter. I'm happy that it's coming out. I I hope it's not a game key, but I can see it being a game key, so we'll see what happens. I'll keep my hopes at a medium for the physical being an actual full on cartridge out here. I didn't know Fallout 4 Super Edition was coming. I might actually get one of those, bro. This is your time. This is your time. And if they redo that collection again, maybe they redo the vault. But dude, imagine I know this would sound really dumb, and I don't know how that would work. Remember when they had it for like the iPhones and they had it there? Someone 3D prints one or something like that, because I know it's not going to be in like any special edition, but like one that like a little Vault Boy thingy that does the that fits the Nintendo Switch on there. That would be kind of cool. That would be kind of cool because then you could just have the pause menu right there and it's literally right in game, you know? Because didn't they have like an app or something like that on the phone that you can like boot up and it had, I'm trying to remember what it was exactly. Someone will correct me, whether it's here or when this gets uploaded over to YouTube. But yeah, Fallout stuff. That's kind of nice. Although I will say I don't know. I know 76 has a community. I feel like at this point it's more niche than anything else. So I'm excited for the people that still play 76 at this point. Uh, Someone let me measure their forearm. I'll print it, bro. How big does that need to be? Because like the screen itself, the Switch 2 is like what, 8 inches or something like that, bro. Size of my head. Speaking of the size of my head, Microsoft's head is probably filled with headaches, right? But we got one good thing coming, and it's in the form of Halo. So, any of my Halo heads out here, I know Last Black Spartan is definitely hyped on this one because the way people have been, this is like, I feel like the worst kept secret. A lot of people were talking about it. Uh, it being a thing, and it's just a matter of like when they would announce this, and Xbox finally having something positive to talk about here on the show. Giving a remake to the original Halo, and it's coming to the PS5. I'm not gonna hold you. I'm shocked that they did not announce a Nintendo Switch version for this. Um, but yeah, sometime in 2026. So we're gonna go on over and take a look at the trailer here. I think I have the campaign trailer here just so we can actually see what it looks like. I only knew it was coming out. I actually haven't seen anything, so this is fresh for me. Viper, what's going on? I didn't say anything, sus. What are you talking about? You said it. You said it. Sems, what's going on? This is like the first time I played Sonic on a like, bro, this was it. Like, if they make that happen, that's the big three all on a Nintendo console in some way, shape, or form.
Deep religious significance.
The original big three before Sony entered.
They believe that Halo is some kind
or
of
I guess
weapon.
it would have been Sony
What
first
sort
and then
of weapon is it?
the big
One
four
with
before
unimaginable
Sega
power.
dropped. Dude. That campaign that started it all. He was just texting me about this. And I was like,
Charlie. We're on our way.
I only played the first OD and ODST to completion, and I stopped at the bridge on 2. Like, I don't know if I'll pick this up, but like, if it does ever get a Switch 2 announcement, I might entertain it. I might entertain it. I'm happy that this exists for that it's actually off the Xbox console for the first time. Like, this is kind of cool.
The cartographer must be here.
Halo was your intro to a lot, bro. That gun right there and the needler were like my favorite to use.
Give them hell, Chief.
That and that whole flood sequence was pretty cool. Like when you first get introduced to the flood is nuts. But yeah, no, that is a really big deal. See, it's coming to Steam also, so there you go. But although the game was already on PC and Mac at one point too, because I remember when I used to work retail, that game was being sold on Mac at one point or another. So I wonder, I didn't see it because the dang thing was covering the nonsense, but I wonder if that's gonna get an Apple release at some point. Between this and Gears of War, couldn't tell me nothing, and I love the books. Ooh, yeah. I forgot, you just unlocked the memory. There was a lot of like in between books. I had a friend, his name was Giancarlo, and he was like in the lore of the Halo universe, bro. Giancarlo, wherever you are, I hope you're doing good. But yeah, freaking like he was like in it and it locked in on the early days of Halo, dude. It was crazy. I was like, that's probably one of my like first memories. This is even before I knew that Resident Evil books existed, right? Like, that's one of the first times that I can recall like games having like other forms of outside media to continue telling story or like giving backstory to things, which I thought was really cool. I'm illiterate, as you can tell, And so that just it goes above my head sometimes. Uh, I need a YouTube video to give me the word for word breakdown if y'all couldn't tell. Let's see. Let's catch up here before we get on the next topic over here. Let me scroll up. We got Viper coming on in. Diamond Eyes, what's going on, homie? You say something sus in the default setting, bud. I'm just confused on the context. I was trying to make a segue happen, and it kind of like, we kind of rough landed on it. There was some turbulence along the way. Uh, the closest we ever got to another Sonic is on Nintendo event. Honestly, that, because we've already, like, when you think about it, Crash Bandicoot was like the PlayStation mascot back in the day, and then like we had that moment on the GameCube where we got Wrath of Cortex on the GameCube, and that was like active. Was that Naughty Dog active? I know Naughty Dog helped with the development, but that was Activision, right? That was Activision's baby, if I'm not mistaken. It's like Skylanders and all that shit. But yeah, that was like another big moment because I remember the third Crash game that I ever played was Wrath of Cortex on the GameCube, and I don't know, for some reason in my head, those load times were insane of like transitioning between stages and going into new worlds and stuff like that. And like I would just have Crash floating on the screen for like 500 years before like it booted up a stage. I don't know if like I had a busted copy or what, but that's like my memory of Crash on another console. Oh man, hopefully there isn't compatibility issues. I'm sure it's fine. I mean, freaking wasn't there like the rumor for a longest time that like they had like a version of Halo running on like a PlayStation? Wasn't that like a big rumor like years and years and years ago when this game first came out and whatnot? Because like the Halo, I think, was supposed to be another title before they decided to run with this, right? Like it was originally being built for Mac, and then this all changed up, and that's how it ended up on the Xbox as like one of like the titles. Like this is like Bungie's like magnum opus. Am I using that term right? Oh yeah. Which I mean, speaking of Bungie, wow, the dichotomy of like where we're at now from where they from where we knew of like the name right there, or a lot of us, I know a lot of people, played like Marathon, right? I think that was one of their titles and stuff like that. Between this and Gears, you can tell me nothing, and I love the books. It's so funny, like Gears, I feel like should have been up my alley, and for some reason it did not click. And I'm like, I gotta give that game another shot at somewhere down the road, because I played the first one for a little bit and then I like stopped. But like I also didn't own the game. I think I had played it at my friend's place or something like that, and I was like, oh, this is cool, and then like I moved on to something else very quickly. And like I feel like the story and everything sets for like everything up my alley into like the sci-fi verse. Maybe it was too machismo for me because them dudes was like built. Oh man. I always thought Halo was a cool game. Then I played it. Ooh, not fond of first persons. I also know people with the first person motion sickness too on top of that. So that is a thing. I didn't play that one, but I should probably revisit because man, Gears games are always a time. I mean, at this rate, I'd imagine those games also probably get ported over, right? Because didn't the first Gears game remastered came out, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, right? We got some weird retro news stuff. This comes by way of time extension. After Super Mario, Metroid, and Star Fox, Super Castlevania is getting the Rumble treatment. Oh, this is not the one that I was thinking of. Sorry. I think it's the next one. But there's all these older games that are getting Rumble support for like original games, which is pretty awesome. I didn't know this was a thing until I read this article. But yeah, earlier this year, Limited Run Games, Retrobit, and Randon Linden announced that a new Rumble Ready controller is to be released for the SNES to coincide with Linden's updated 16 bit port of Doom. Linden has shared information with the community on how to factor force feedback into other NES, SNES games. And oh, whoops. Not me not having the right scene. Uh, and we've already seen Star Fox Shindo Edition, Super Metroid Rumbled, and Super Mario World Rumbled. Take advantage of all these, all thanks to Kondo Wantu. Let's see. Can we check over here and see what happens? Anything? No. No, that's all we got, huh? Let's check out ROM Hack Plaza real quick. That's it? No. I guess this is just yeah, so that's interesting. I guess you could put it on a flash cart and put it on your SNES also, if you have a flash cart for that. Interesting. Moving on. This is the one that I thought was kind of neat. But 27 years later, a secret code for Saturn's Castlevania Symphony of the Night has broken speedruns. So let's do a quick read on this one real quick. Saturn version of Castlevania Symphony of the Night gets a bit of a bum rap these days. Sure, it's not as technically accomplished as the PS1 original, but it does have Maria as a playable character, as well as some new areas and music. It turns out it's also has a secret code which has remained hidden since its 1998 release, to our knowledge, at least. So yeah, let's see, memory underscore fallen. I found a secret Easter egg. I found an Easter egg in the Saturn version of Castlevania Symphony of the Night, Dracula X Nocturne in the Moonlight. Enter your name as staff. The credits roll will start. This seems to have escaped notice since 1998. The code has been discovered by Memory Fallen, allows you to view staff credits without actually completing the game. This discovery has led to some joke the code effectively breaks speedrun attempts for the game. That's actually crazy because, like, usually when you enter your name and hit start for stuff, I think that starts the speed runs normally for games that like have you put in your name. So essentially what they're thinking is, does this count as an any percent speed run? We're gonna see people trying to break by the millisecond try to enter this in. That's actually crazy. That's hilarious. I wonder if that works for any other like old school games too, because it always makes me wonder, like, what if, because there's like certain ones where you could put in your names and like some of the games escape me, but like you could put in certain names and it'll give you certain power. I think Circle of the Moon did something like that on the GBA. I'd have to double check, but I feel like that is a fairly common thing over here. Not the ultimate speedrun strat. Wiccan, you see it, right? That's a good question. Yeah, it's like, hold on, they're asking the real questions now, because if it counts as an any percent, speedruns are essentially broken over here. Oh man, the final stand is always fun to see how long I could last. Oh, from Reach, yeah, no, that man, that thing broke me, dog. That broke me on another level. I was not ready. Persona is cozy. Girl, what are we talking about, Wiccan? Are we talking about the same game? Which also, Persona 3 Reload, I think, came out on the Switch too. Uh it's the only one with a game key card, and I'm so sad. Oh my gosh. And before we get into this one, we'll just wait a couple of seconds for everybody to come back from ad break, but we should have everybody back. Welcome. All the only thing you truly missed was Rumble support for Super Castlevania, and also there was a cheat code that automatically initiates credits in Castlevania Symphony of the Night on the Saturn specifically, which is hilarious. So up next, we got this new beat 'em up collection, brings together 7 Cubite classics in a single package. Cubite is just like constantly dropped old school games left and right for a good chunk, but they also actually no, that's P cubed, not to confuse the two. Yeah, Cubite's the like they're just like the arcade archives people, where it's just like constant dumps of collections of beat 'em ups and like really obscure random stuff that I've personally never heard of, unless like you got to be like really deep in it to like know some of this stuff. And this is beyond me, other than I love beat 'em ups, so this is why this is on here. So this collection, this beat 'em up collection of Cubite classics, includes First Samurai, Second Samurai, Gourmet Warriors, Iron Commando, Legend, Sword of Sedan, and The Tale of Clouds and Winds. which is scheduled to arrive on July 17th. Is this old news and I'm just catching this now? Not me catching news from like 4 months ago. What am I clicking on? How current do they update this madness here? Uh, that's embarrassing. Well, hey, more beat 'em ups. There we go. From 4 months ago news. Uh, this is something more current, and this will connect to the next link that I go. Taking retro news literally, I know, right? Talk about me reading an article from like 3, 4 months ago about old news of old games. Anyway, for anyone that is curious about the Superstation, which I'll show that in a second because I have the website pulled up, and then we'll get into some trailers. But the FPGA Superstation 1 is getting its own line of memory cards. So to before we get into this, I have to explain what the Superstation 1 is. But and FPGA is basically just like a board that that a lot of retro companies use to kind of perfect quote unquote emulation. It's like the board that gives you almost the truest to original hardware experience, and that's why a lot of people use FPGA devices. Analog comes to mind, the Analog Pocket that I use, where you can actually use original cartridges on there. It actually plays the closest to like with all the with like no imperfections and stuff like that in terms of the emulation scene goes when you like dump it into the board itself. So that's what this Superstation 1 is. It's built to look like a PlayStation. You're still running everything emulation wise, but it's actually getting its own set of memory cards as well. So I don't think that's necessary considering the fact that you can just have a USB dongle onto it and save it that way. I would imagine, right? Because how else are you booting the games also on top of that? But yeah, they put in some work into this. They made several different colors and stuff like that. But yeah, all the ports that are on the back are actually kind of nuts too. And the Ethernet exists for updates and stuff like that. But I mean, dude, they even have a VGA port on there. That's crazy. So to go back real quick on this, Taki Udon, that's right. Taki Udon's a YouTuber who like covers all this tech stuff, but started making his own line of retro products is what's happened here. The developer of the FPGA PS1 open source console, the Superstation 1, has shared his first look at the set of prototype renders for its upcoming memory card line on social media. As many have noted, the cards have fairly similar design to the 8-bit mods mem card line Pro line, complete with a screen to display memory card data and other options. Cards are being built based on open source. Okay, SD2PSX. So again, to kind of explain what I think that is, the SD2 thing is another small board. Because the only reason I know is because I have a similar thing on my GameCube where there's one port that's just never used, and you stick it in there with an SD card in that board, and that's how like you can like boot up the games and stuff like that through oh gosh, I forgot the name of the software, the emulation boot up software that you can do on GameCube. We did it on stream one time. Swiss. There we go. Swiss was the name of it. Sorry, my brain is all still broken over here. Um, so yeah, we prototyped some $10 estimate PS1, PS2 memory cards for the Superstation. They work very well, is what it seems like. And Superstation was initially put up for pre-order on for 149 USD back in January. Is expected to release later this year. Later this year, it's October now. Has this dropped officially? Let's take a look. But yeah, there's some other devices that they've sold over here too. So yeah, pretty sure these are all pre-orders. Bum, bum, dun, dun, dun. Mr. PI, that's your own. So yeah, the Mister was like a big like early emulation device for like old school games to like play at like perfect emulation, almost to like perfect to almost perfect hardware emulation. So a lot of people were buying all those boards and like adding different things, and it's like one of the ones that like a lot of people in the retro scene will boot up if they have one. It can be as expensive if you want because there's so many attachment pieces that you can do too to get certain, depending on like what consoles you're looking to play on that device. It's like crazy flexible. Superstation shipping dashboard. Let's see. This is all super OLEDs. It maybe. Yep, it's still up for pre-order. Okay, here you go. So pre-order deposit, SuperDoc pre-ordered. So they're taking the $45 pre-orders or batch 3. So it looks like they have been shipping them, and it looks like they're going for $199 now. So yeah, there you go. So for those that are curious, and they mentioned PS2 on there also. So I don't know what that's about. Um, but I think the intention of this device is to be of PlayStation 1 emulations at like its highest, I think, is like what they're trying to build for. We can take a quick peek. Just want to make sure that I have that right. We'll take a little detour. It's worth it. Super station, right? Boom, 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 boom. Which video shall we go to? Bang and bang. We'll take this little detour real quick.
Right,
We'll
they
fast
try to
forward a
ship
little
too
bit.
soon as well. Any preview
Nope.
3D because it is so delayed. Show all day long, and I think that for these things, even if they are pre-ordered, and I will definitely get from one. Obviously, they're still teasing that Mr. FPGA handheld, and that would be.
That doesn't give us any information. Stevie Wonder randomly on here. I was like, wait, what's happening here? We'll play Mega CD and more. There we go. Okay, let's get the quick answer over here.
Go on. And when I get a chance now, this is big news, guys. Then, but what we'll do is we'll have a look at the tweet.
So it looks like it's playing all the like
MetalGameSolid.com post. Then
generation, like first generation of CDs lineup.
So I added preliminary support for
happy?
loading Sega CD games from Discord without dumping
games that can be read by any standard CD, DVD, PSX, Mega, Sega CD. So I don't know if this is actual true, but I mean,
let's play this video and let's
if you're playing PS1, you can definitely rock some Sega CD.
Sega CD. I like calling it the Mega
I don't know
CD
about
because that's
Saturn
how
at
I
that
knew
point,
it in
but
the UK.
that's a decent list if that's the case, and obviously anything below that should work fine. Whew. But yeah, Superstation in a nutshell. Scavengers of Death. So this is an official release trailer. Again, all these indie showcase games that like are still being pumped out is kind of crazy. Top down isometric. Why she look like 6? I don't play horror games, but I may make an exception. Yeah, no. They kind of cooked with that one. Copy. Boom. Give me a second. I just gotta send that over to Eddie. Give me a moment. Ba-da-ba-da-bum-bum-bum-bum-bum-bum. Where is Eddie? Gonna send that to him. Tactical survival horror game. Boom. All right, there we go. Up next, we got a Darkenstein 3D. So I gotta read this real quick. Darkenstein 3D is available on Steam. Action-packed Darkenstein 3D launch trailer for this retro shooter inspired by Wolfenstein 3D and Doom. So we have our premise. Here we go. I think we're gonna get exactly what we're expecting over here. Oh my god. There you go, Wiccan. It's right there. Oh my god.
There are some of the things you could do in Darkenstein 3D.
Why are you talking like
Kill
that?
Vermach scum. Throw a rat.
I'm getting Duke Nukem vibes, you know?
Eat pie and drink
Devil,
beer.
please.
Go nuts with a flamethrower. Hunt aliens and zombies.
More Duke Nukem than Doom.
And lots more.
More Duke Nukem than Doom than Wolfenstein, you know? Just naming every single game that is literally a riff on each other. Oh man. Fun fact, Duke Nukem was a 2D platformer before it went first person. You know what's funny? This song sounds just like the Doom 2016, the Rip and Tear song. They know exactly what they were doing with this. He looked like the Team Fortress 2 guy right there. Double kill. Can I just have the music sends, right?
So what are you waiting for? Darkenstein 3D is out now on PC. Even a hobo like me can play it because it's free.
Oh my god. Oh, it's free. Oh, there y'all go. Oh man. Oh, damn it. I thought that was you. No. 27% Steam is instant. Blue, get out of here. That joke has layers.
If the show's
my
called
God.
Invincible, then why can I see it?
All right, Heather, what's going on, homie? Blue, what's going on? Up next, we got a game called White Knuckle. Official Parasite launch trailer. Okay, I was gonna say, is this a horror game that I booted up? I don't even remember what I. Blue, I can't wait for the vlog. Yo, Blue's got a TwitchCon vlog coming out. He's been working hard on that joint. Ooh, my neck. White Knuckle is one of them rage games. Really? New update. Oh, so this game has existed already. Hold on. Devils knows about this too. Oh, Dread XP. Say less. All right. Up next is an official bundle trailer for Heartworm. We played this game in its early access. So I do want to see what they have here because I have not seen any of it from this. So let's take a look. Noisy Pixel. Love those dudes. Excuse me. Yeah. This was a really freaking fun game, man. Like, I don't know if how much more they actually plan to add to the story of this game when it officially drops, but I would entertain a second playthrough when it's officially released if they've added, like, enough. You know? Yeah. I also think this might be a one-person development team game, if I recall. Uh-oh. Game and soundtrack available on Steam now? Yeah, so it doesn't look like there was anything, Oh, okay, so it was a bundle with other games over here. Got it. Boom. And last but not least, we actually have proper gameplay of Echograph. This is a game that I'm genuinely like interested in playing when it comes out. I don't think it has a release date yet, but like we're getting more gameplay on here because like the trailer showed a little bit of it, but yeah. I just love the fact that we're getting something that's like freaking Fatal Frame like, man. If we're not gonna get a new Fatal Frame, someone's gonna make it, and here we go, you know? Like, come on, dog. Damn, they got that jawline on Max. Got him. Let's go. You didn't think it was going to be that easy, did you? Oh. Ow. It's a big mansion. Wishlist now on Steam. B Slain. Yeah, shout out to B Slain, you know? That's an old channel trailer. Oh my gosh. All right. That cover went, wow, we kind of did that kind of smooth today. We went through. We had some good conversation on that joint. We flowed nicely, I feel like, on this one. I stuck to the train track this time. I got complaints on a couple of videos saying that I veer off too much, or and it's usually the one-time commenters. But if one person's thinking it, I gotta at least semi-adjust. So hopefully this one is a little bit on the rails than the usual ones. And thank y'all everybody for watching. Before we get going with Pokemon ZA, we'll do our outro for YouTube. So if you enjoy what you saw here, share with your friends, let them know what we do here. We yap about video games and anything nerdy. I didn't have anything wrestling this time to share, so this is pretty much it. But we normally also yap about some random wrestling thing over here that isn't like what you would normally see everywhere else on any other wrestling talking channel. But what was I saying? I'll see now. Speaking of losing my train of thought, share with friends, let them know what we do here. And if you enjoyed the video, like it, subscribe, all that fun stuff. If you see the hype video, apparently the hype stuff is only on mobile, but when I go on mobile and watch other people's stuff, it doesn't show up for me. So I don't know. YouTube, figure that out, all right? And with that said, I will see you all next time. Take care. Love y'all. And remember, fight for your dreams. And your dreams will fight for you.